What up, what up, what up? What's going on? It's Kilo, and we are back for another episode of the regular podcast on the regular network.
It's real.
What's his name again? Kilo?
Shout out my Kilo, man. Kilo in the mother building.
What have you done, sir?
What's cracking, y'all? It's cracking. We got our final episode of 2025 here. Man, we made it. Before we do anything else, man, please make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please comment your thoughts below. Look at the description box. Hit the survey. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to think about. It's crazy we made it to the end of 2025, right? Because the only reason I started doing the podcast again is because I got in therapy. Ain't that something? Because I said I was done. You understand? I announced that I was done in January. I didn't pick it back up till like June. So really, we jumped in there halfway through the year. And, it was clunky a little bit, trying to struggle to get back consistent and things like that. And we have not had enough consistency to even consider it consistent. But, you know what I'm saying? At least we made it to the final week of 2025. We have an episode. It will be on time, all of that good stuff. I appreciate anybody that watches regularly or irregularly. I don't care. Everybody that's a watcher, that's a listener, a viewer, especially the people that subscribed. I appreciate y'all. Toast to y'all. Sir Davis, to end out the final podcast. I got to figure out what I'm going to sip on New Year's Eve, like the day of, as we cross over. Maybe nothing at all. Who knows? But for the final pod, we're going eye to eye. No glasses. Eye to eye. Final podcast of the year. So now it's time for goals and things. Really, it's always time for goals. All year round, you should be thinking about what your goals are, not just resolutions, but real, like actual your goals, man. And, I was letting, I bring this dude up a lot, but I was letting my therapist know that I do this goal thing, right? He was talking about S.M.A.R.T goals, right? And I like this concept. I think I kind of do it already, but I'm going to break it down to y'all, because I think this is a good tool and I want to help people set goals and attain them and stuff like that. But I think it's a good, easy to learn system to come up with when you're running into your goals and stuff like that, right? And it's called S.M.A.R.T goals, right? And S.M.A.R.T is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-oriented. I had to look at my notes for the R. And I think that's a good way. Let me say it one more time for the people that might have missed it. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-oriented. So when you choose a goal, you want it to fit the criteria. You want it to fit all 5 of those criteria for it to be, or 5 of those attributes for it to be considered a SMART goal, right? So you don't want anything vague, right? You don't want anything so far out of your reach that it's not attainable. Well, that's the A. You want it to be something that you can actually say, I hit this mark. Here are the metrics on it. Whether the metrics be, I got $1,000 in my savings account, or the metric is I lost 2 pounds and I wanted to lose 2 pounds, right? It needs to be something that's measurable, right? So not so vague that it's not specific, and not so vague you can't measure it. You want it to be attainable, right? Realistic and attainable kind of go together, but you want it to be realistic, right? Because something could be realistic, but it's not attainable for you, right? So if you said something like, I've never been to college before, I want to have a master's degree in a year, right? There are some people who can get a master's degree in a year. So it's not unrealistic. It's a realistic goal, but it's not attainable for you. So that's the difference between attainable and realistic, right? And then time oriented. When we talk about time orientation, we mean it's not, you don't have an indefinite amount of time to reach this goal, right? So you want to be able to say, okay, I want to do this within 6 months. I want to do this in 3 months. Or I want to have this thing done in 2 months. Or I want to lose 22 pounds in 6 weeks. You want it to be time oriented. Okay. So I've been doing my goals like that for years. If y'all have watched the podcast, that every year, or not every year, but a lot of these years I have given what my goals are at the end of the year. And I told you how I map them out, right? I normally call it goal mapping, but SMART goals is just as good. That's a good naming, right? So let me get into my goals, because I like to, at least give y'all what my goals are, so you see how I come up with them and how I talk myself through them and how I actually plan to get to them. And then hopefully that'll help you when it comes to you doing your goals or setting up your goals, right? Your SMART goals going forward, right? Now, I do 3 short-term goals and I do 3 long-term goals, right? So my short-term goals, that's from 0 to 6 months. And then my long-term goals are 6 to 12 months, things that I plan to reach within those time periods. So my short-term goals, first one being, I want to finish my IBM data engineer certificate. I started a course an online course for a data engineer certificate, and I just want to make sure I get that finished within the next 6 months. I haven't had a lot of time, but like adding it to my goal list, my SMART goals list, that is going to put the pressure on me to say, do not slack on this goal. Make sure you get it done. Get that certification. Okay. I want to finish up a few cosmetic home projects. Now, that is not specific, so I'll tweak that one. But I'll tell you, part of it is I want to do some exterior siding and trim work, right? I want to get that done. I want to change out 2 exterior lights that I have here. Actually, now think about it. I bought 2 lights today that I need for outside, but I actually have 2 more in the back of the house that I need to replace those also. So anyway, for now, I got 2 exterior lights. I want to get my trim fixed up, some siding work done. I want to do, what else is outside that I need to fix up? I want to get my landscape a little bit more cleaned up. I have a good landscaping crew right now. They do a good job, but I want to add some better landscaping. And then I want to do some drywall work on the inside of the house. I want to update my laundry room, just make it a little bit nicer. And I got a first floor half bath I want to fix up. Now, all of these are going to be, for the most part, except the siding work, all of these will be relatively cheap projects. Like, I want to get some of y'all help on my laundry room, right? In my laundry room, what I want to do is set a $500 budget. And I want to say, help me redecorate or redesign this room under $500, right? Now, $500 budget for me, this is not like Fixer Upper on HGTV. $500 budget does not mean spend $500. It means I want to do this project and I don't want to go over $500, right? So I'm looking for shelving. So I want to go shelf or cabinet, right? I want to go, what accent wall color should I go with, right? We're going to paint the wall, but we're only going to paint one wall. Let's pick a color. Help me pick a color. The light fixture is not changing. I like the light fixture. I put that in there myself. So we'll do a little drywall work in the laundry room, give an accent paint color, pick shelving options, and maybe some type of artwork to go on the wall. That's it. Under $500, help me out, right? So that's one of the projects we have also. I'll probably do the same thing with my half bath downstairs on the first floor. So we'll see how that goes. Actually, I have a separate channel for my DIY stuff. That's called The Regular Network. Make sure y'all go subscribe to that if you're not already subscribed, right? I have a project that I'm actually about to start doing this weekend with those exterior lights, right? So I got accepted into the Lowe's Creator Program, and that's pretty much where I can make content and I can use links to Lowe's products to actually sell them through my videos and get a commission, like a small little commission off the sales, right? So once I put together this video of me replacing those outdoor lights, hopefully people will see the video and hopefully they'll go ahead and buy some of those products too, right? So shout out to y'all. Hopefully y'all are subscribed to that channel, The Regular Network. That's on YouTube. This one is called The Regular Podcast on The Regular Network. That's just The Regular Network, okay? Excuse me. Now, the third short-term goal, like I said, I do 3 and 3. The third short-term goal is to build the back end for my the Regular Network Solutions software project. So I have big plans for this, software that I think can be used. It's a business-to-business joint. Regular consumers won't be using it, but businesses, this is something for businesses to use, right? I want to build the back end. What the back end pretty much means is infrastructure. I need security. I need databases. And I need networking. So how am I going to deliver this thing to the people? How will they be able to access my data? And how will my data be structured? Right? And then the background microservices or API, how I plan on getting this data outward, outside of my firewall. I want to have that built within 6 months. This is something that I pretty much, I won't even say too much about it, but I'm not starting from ground zero. So this is something I think is attainable within 6 months. I don't have a team. It's just me working on this. So we'll see how it goes. I'll give y'all an update when it's finished. But I want that to be finished within 6 months. 6 to 12 month goals, my long-term goals. I have 3. One of them I'm not even going to say on here because I don't want to offend nobody, and it's just not even worth it, right? So I'm going to tell you 2 of them. One of them is to build the UI for my software project. So the UI is the front end. The UI is pretty much when you go to my website or my application, what do you see as a user, right? So that's what UI means, user interface or UX. So you would normally say UI, UX, or UX, UI, whatever. User experience or user interface. Within 6 to 12 months, I want to have that built, right? Once I have a user interface that goes with my back end, now I can start marketing this thing and trying to sell it to businesses, right? So that's something I want to have done within 6 to 12 months. I want to secure a data engineer role, right? So a data engineer role, it's pretty much just a job in data engineering, right? And that would be until, of course, the business would jump off with the software thing. But I want to finish up this data engineer certificate in my short term so that I can long term get a job in data engineering, right? Of all the things that I've done since I've been in this tech space, data engineering is like one that sticks with me the best, right? Data engineering is like, it goes along with my natural calling, my natural inclinations, my attention to detail, things like that. It just fits me. So it makes the most sense for me to go that route. And that's the direction I plan on taking it. Okay. So that's a long-term goal for me in this sense, long-term SMART goal, secure a data engineer role. And then the third one, I'm not going to talk about. Okay. So I appreciate y'all for listening to that. Make sure you please let me know what your goals are. Or if you don't want to tell me, that's fine. You can DM it to me. You can email me at that's REG podcast @gmail.com. Let me know what your goals are, short-term and long-term. And let's discuss. That's my way of being vulnerable, telling people my goals, because, what J. Cole say? Don't tell them your goals so they can't shoot them down, something like that. But you know what? I don't even mind if people try to shoot them down, because I'm still going for what I want. It is what it is. And if you go back to my last year episode and you see those goals that I had set up, I don't think I hit most of them because I went through a rough mental patch. So I really fell off everything. But this year, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting right to it. And like I told people before, I normally don't wait until the new year to start my goals. That's why I started the data engineer certificate program a few weeks ago. There's no need to wait until the end of the year to get goals going, right? Or resolutions or whatever you want to call them. But I do this because I know a lot of people do New Year's resolutions, okay? I've been said that I was going to do my year-end music review, or pretty much what were my favorite songs and albums and all this type of stuff. As you know, and we're going to get to it right now. As you know, I don't do top 10, top 5, none of that, because there's not always a top 10 or a top 5 that are noteworthy to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to force songs or albums on a list just because I got to pick 10. Like, I'm not doing that. There weren't 10 albums that I felt were noteworthy enough for me to put them on a list this year. There was some good projects, but I don't feel like ranking a lot of them. Right, so I'm just going to give you the ones for me. Now, let me just go straight to the songs of the year. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start at the bottom of the list. None of these are in order, but the one that I'll tell you last is my favorite. But the rest of them are not in order, okay? Okay, so first, or no order, Keeper by Giveon, right? Giveon put out a good project this year. Some people would call it the best R&B album of the year. I wouldn't, and I'll tell you why. But it's a great album, and I love the album. I love some of the songs on there. But Keeper from Giveon is probably my favorite song on that album, right? And it's one of my favorite songs of the year. Go listen to it. It's one of those, I love breakup songs. It feels like a breakup song, like he's trying to get her back type of thing. You know, the content kind of starts like Circles from Marcus Houston back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it doesn't start the same, but it kind of feels like the content. I'm talking about the writing, the lyrics, not the sound of it. The sound is not like that, but the lyrics, it give me that vibe, right? And I like that. I love breakup songs, right? Next song on the list is Tweaker by Jello. I feel like this was Jello Ball, right? I feel like this was one of the most impactful songs of the year. Like when it hit, nobody expected him to make a song that was that hard, right? First of all, something that a lot of people missed out on is that because everybody's like, I might swerve and I'm gonna, whoa, whoa. That was just the most viral part. And they're like, yo, he sounds like he's like trying to be from New Orleans or something like that. That's fine. That's a diss song. A lot of people missed out on the fact that that's a diss song. He's dissing Cameron on that song. That's a Cameron diss. I don't feel like nobody is pointing that out. Nobody recognized it. Not many people spoke about it. I'm just like, are y'all hearing what he's talking about? He's talking about Cam. He put that song together after Cameron was clowning him and pretty much, and he was like trying to clown him back, but people was like, bro, you can't, like, how you gonna talk rap with Cameron, right? And then he came with that song. That's a diss. That's a Cam diss, right? You know, I might swerve in that corner. Like it's talking about spinning the block type. So Tweaker by Jello, love the song, very catchy, viral. Everybody know the song, but I used to play it on repeat during the summertime. Hard song. Another one of my joints. This might be a sleeper for some of y'all if y'all not hip to this person. 75 on 75 by Belly Gang Cushington. One of my favorite songs of the year. Also, he just went too hard on it, and then the marketing of it was he really stopped traffic on I-75 in Atlanta, hopped out the vehicle, and took a picture with $75,000. Right? It was just perfect. Like the marketing was perfect. He really held up traffic to do that, and the song is really fire. So you know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite songs of the year. I listen to it all the time. Still listen to it. Some of the stuff he said in the song, I mean, I just repeat it. It's just like stuck in my head. Yeah. I'm 22 bags and I got like 50 more. You know, another one of my favorite songs of this year. Money on Money by Young Thug and Future. The thing I love about Future, when Future get on a song with his younger Atlanta homies like 21 or Thug or Baby or any of these dudes, the thing I love about what he does, he always show none of y'all can out rap me. I don't care how old I get. I don't care how good y'all get. I don't care how old y'all get. Y'all are my offsprings. Ain't none of y'all can rap better than me. That's just what I love about Future. Like he just still let it be known. His pen, he can go wherever he needs to go on any song with anybody because his background is the Dungeon family and he came up from under them. One of Atlanta's best producers ever and one of the music industry's greatest of the last 30 years is his cousin, his older cousin, Rico, right? From Organized Noise. So he comes up from musicality. Money on Money is perfect. Even just the transition between Thug's verse from Thug's verse and the Future's verse. If she ain't got an AP, she is not mine. Like it's just catchy. It's just too catchy. It's just like whatever Thug was gonna say, it's gonna get overshadowed by what Future is coming in with. And it did. But the song as a whole is fire. The hook is fire. I think that's Thug's best song since coming home. Money on Money. It's his best song since coming home. Super fire. Okay, another one. Hold on. Had to clear my throat. Excuse me. Another joint that I love, I play on repeat. Due for a Win, Lil Baby. I heard the slander about Lil Baby. I don't understand where it's coming from because I'm like, Lil Baby still dropping heat. But Due for a Win is fire. I mean, it's just fire. It's just one of them, like, for me, like a motivational joint. Like you ready to get back to the bread. You know, you ready to get to the money if you ain't never had none before. You know, Due for a Win is one of them ones. And it's a diss. It's a Gunna diss, clearly. Actually, no, I thought it was a Gunna diss. Excuse me. I thought it was a Gunna diss until I realized that he had beef with Offset. I didn't realize when they had talked about, and he actually said it in this song, watch niggas strip you out your boxes, you know you a bitch. I didn't realize that was about Offset. I didn't realize that. So he dissed him on there, but he kind of was dissing both of these guys. He kind of was dissing like some of this stuff fit for Gunna and Offset. So I didn't know exactly who he was talking about. Hold on. Yeah, I just had to run it just so I could hear something. Like he was probably dissing both of them the whole time as like a double entendre. Like from the streets and them niggas been rapping on beats their whole life. Don't compare me to those niggas. He's talking about either Offset or Gunna. I mean, it fits for both of them. But the whole watch niggas strip you out your boxes, you know you a bitch. They say that supposedly is what Baby's guys did to Offset. I don't know. I never heard that until like 2 months ago. I didn't know that. So that's something that somebody just came across my desk. I didn't realize that. Either way, Due for a Win is one of the hardest songs that I heard this year. Just the subject matter alone. I don't care about the streams. I don't care if we're ranked on the charts. I'm a subject matter guy. I'm listening to Lil Baby talk, and people was supposedly saying he fell off and all. I don't know what y'all hear. You understand? I don't hear whatever y'all hear. Okay? He's still fire to me. He opened up the year with that. That album came out like January 3rd. So as soon as the new year hit, his album came 2 days later, and it was fire to me. And that was one of my favorite songs on the album. That is my favorite song from that album, matter of fact. Let's move on. Another one, out of order, but one of my favorites of this year. It's called Houston-Lanaville, and it's ESTG, Lil Baby, Travis Scott. That's another person that they was like, yo, where's ESTG? I don't know where he at. He done fell off the earth. I'm like, do y'all not realize he dropped the album this year and it was fire? People play around on the internet so much asking for certain type of music when really, if you really wanted that type of music, you would just go find it because it's out there. How are y'all saying where's ESTG at? He's not making, he don't have any hits on the radio or anything like that, but his music is steadily being made and being released. So y'all clearly, people just talking, just clowning. Like, yo, where's STG? He fell off the face of the earth. Blah, blah. He's still dropping music. It's still fire. Houston-Lanaville, ESTG, Lil Baby, Travis Scott. I love how they played, how they did that. Because their verses kind of, especially Lil Baby and ESTG, verses kind of like, it looked like it wasn't back and forth like Styles and Jada, but the things they were saying in their verse related to what the other one was saying in their verse. So it was kind of like I don't know if they was in a studio together, but it seems like they might have been. Travis Scott was clearly recorded somewhere else. The mix ain't even the same. He sounds completely different than everybody else. But his verse is also hard. It's competing for best verse on a song. I can't even say who has the hardest verse, but I know they all went hard on there. Y'all need to check that out. That's on ESTG's album. But it's called Houston-Lanaville. Fire song. Now, my favorite song of the year. Hands down favorite song. So I can rank this one. This is number one. Everything else is like just good, like some of my favorite songs. This is my favorite song of the year for sure. It's called Yes It Is by Leon Thomas. Not the remix, the main version, the one that was on the first album. Yes It Is. Shout out to one of my homies that told me about listening, like tell me, yo, you got to listen to Leon Thomas. At first it was just Mutt. Mutt was making noise and all that. I'm like, oh, I like that. I wasn't listening to it before they told me, yo, you need to listen to this. But then I started listening to Mutt just as a song. And then the album hit and I'm listening to the album. And then Yes It Is just jumped out at me. I start playing that song on repeat immediately. If you look at my title, year-end wrap-up, it's the most played song I got this year. And when I say I put a song on repeat, I had that song running so much my kids know the words. You see what I'm saying? I was playing that song so much this year. Hardest song of the year, the writing, the production, the singing, there's everything about it. If we talk about just comparing it to songs this year, I know everybody is just head over heels for Folded and all that. Put Yes It Is up against Folded, and Folded is going to fold every time. And I like Folded. Folded is good. Yes It Is, though. Yes It Is one of them joints like that. Maybe this is just my vibe, right? I put Yes It Is on, turn the lights low, and just let that thing play. Put some candles on. I'm going to put a candle running back there. I'm going to put a candle right here. Might have a candle over there. I'm going to have candles going. I'm going to put Yes It Is on. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to get in the car. Yes It Is might be the first song. I'll put Yes It Is on, right? And then hit shuffle and let Tidal do whatever it's going to do after that. But I need to make sure Yes It Is play. That's how much I like that song. Y'all go check that out. You really can't go wrong with that whole album, Leon Thomas album. Lucid Dreams is fire on there. Mud is fire on there. Vibes Don't Lie, fire. I just, we about to get into this. Albums of the year. Let's get into albums of the year. Let me look at this. Albums of the year, actually, this might be in order. Let me see. I got albums that I felt were noteworthy enough for me to put them on a list. 5 albums. 1 R&B, 4 rap. God Does Like Ugly. That's number 5 from J.I.D. When J.I.D. first dropped that album, I said, okay, this is rap album of the year. But I only said that because the first part of the year it was dragging so much, I forgot some of the earlier albums that came out because what Trump got in office and was doing made 2025 drag so crazy. And when I say drag, I mean, it just feels like he's doing so much in 2025 that you can't even believe this has all been in under a year that he's done all this stuff. Can y'all believe that? It ain't even been a year yet. This man has come and flipped and he put his thing down, flip it and reverse it. The whole America. You see what I'm saying? Even if it feel like Charlie Kirk got murked like a while ago. Like this year is dragging crazy. So yeah, God Does Like Ugly. One of the best albums of this year. Here's my only thing, right? Because I had it, at first I had it higher. But then as I listen back, I'm like, for me, as a mid-30s, 35-year-old man, and J.I.D. I think is a little bit younger than me, but a little bit younger. I'm still looking for a level of substance that I'm not getting from him. The content is there, but the depth, I'm not getting the depth that I want. So as far as every other box that you can check on this album is there. Production is fire. All the features are fire. His rapping is fire. The length of the album is fire. I don't know about the marketing though, but all these other things I named, fire. I'm just not getting when somebody, okay, as for the battle rap community, you know how this is, right? It's like Rum Nitty, right? As big of a Rum Nitty fan as I am, as much as I say his pen is unreal, he's the alien, all that, it's like something that you don't feel it. You just hear it and say, that sounds good, but it's not something you feel. You see what I'm saying? Like if J.I.D. can figure out a way to add more soul into what he's doing, I mean, there's no telling where he can get to. You see what I'm saying? There's no telling where he can get to. But but this album is as good as it's going to get without that soul. Like this is really a perfect album, just lacking. When I say soul, I don't want that to sound disrespectful though. It's just missing that thing that me as a 30s plus year old man that had lived experiences, that had a lot of lived experiences. It's just a level that is not hitting me. You see what I'm saying? Maybe some of the younger guys can feel it on a different level. But, for people that come from where I come from and what type of stuff we've been through, it's another level. And that's literally I went back and forth between this album and Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips. That's the next album on my list, number 4. That's literally, I went back, I was like, man, I felt like J.I.D.'s album was better because I remember there being better production than Let God Sort 'Em Out. As funny as that is, because Pharrell did like Let God Sort 'Em Out, the production on J.I.D.'s album is better to me. But when I listen to them back to back, it's just not the same. Like what they're saying on Let God Sort 'Em Out, they are all substance. There's bars in there too though, but the depth. When I say depth, I mean like the soul, the feeling. You can feel what they talk about, even when they don't say something hard. You could just feel it on another level, and that's literally the only reason that Let God Sort 'Em Out is ranked over J.I.D.'s album. To me, that's the only thing, right? Let God Sort 'Em Out. I think the highlight of that album, now here's a knock on them why they're not number one, like a lot of people have them number one. The highlight of their album was this surprise Kendrick verse. Right? I'm lying. That's not the highlight of the album. So let me take that back. That was one of the most talked about things. But the highlight is that Pusha T was able to get Malice back and they did an album together. That's the highlight. I always would in my head have this internal argument. Like, why do people say Malice is a better rapper than Pusha T? I don't hear it. Like I went back to, ever since Pusha T been solo, I've been a big Pusha T fan. You know what I'm saying? Fear God mixtapes or albums, whatever you want to call them. That's some of the best projects that I heard of the last 15 to 20 years, right? Or I would say at that time, right? At that time, you couldn't tell me nothing about Pusha T, right? And I'm like, I don't see what y'all seeing. When y'all talk about this Malice nigga rapping better than Pusha T, like Malice is cool, but he don't rap like Push. I was mistaken, honestly. This album, I can't even think of a song. I can't think of a verse that was close. I can't think of anything on this album where I thought, okay, this is the one where Pusha T did better than Malice. I can't think of anything where that's the sentence that I leave the song leaving with. Like Malice still is able to rap at a high level after taking a very long break from this type of music, worldly music. Malice went by No Malice for a long time, and he was off the drug talk. He was off the street talk. He was off all that. He would talk about it from I've been through that and God delivered me. That's how he would talk about it when he was No Malice. But now that he's back rapping like himself, you know what I'm saying, as Malice, part of Clips, this ain't the guy I'm tweaking. This is not who Pusha T can rap better than. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a big Pusha T fan. Big Pusha T fan. I feel like this would have been the one for Hove to get on, because you know Hove does like rapping with Pusha T. They get songs all the time. But I'm like, damn, did he shy away from this project because Malice is rapping the way he's rapping and Hove would have had to come crazier? Pause. Or did he fall back from it because the Kendrick moment was big and you don't want to compare which moment was bigger, the Kendrick Whips and Chains or Chains and Whips or whatever it's called versus whatever Jay-Z would have done it. Because I think Jay-Z is considering all of that when he decides whether or not to do a feature on something. Because the amount of fire that Kendrick has right now, I don't think really too many people want to go against that. When I say go against, I mean you don't want to compete with that marketing-wise, right? It's just when they talk about flow state, Kendrick is in flow state right now. It's been like a 4-year flow state, right? It's unreal. So I think Hove would have been perfect on this album, rapping with Malice, rapping with Pusha T. I would have loved to hear it, but I guess we didn't get it. I think Jay-Z and Malice have something to say on these songs together, right? We heard Pusha T and Jay-Z together. I don't understand why Push played with that last one, like that whole neck and wrist. You had neck and wrist, Pharrell Productions, you got Hove, and you played with it, right? And Hove bodied you. I didn't like the flow that Pusha came with. Hove bodied you, feast your eyes. The piece unique is sapphire. Rappers liars. I don't do satire. I mean, it's a flawless verse. I don't know why Pusha T played with that song like that. Now you got your brother on the album bodying you the same way. I mean, it's very crazy. And Pusha T is considered one of the top guys, like rappers, lyricists in the industry. But I guess that's until you put him up against other lyricists. Not to say it's a beef, but up against, when you compare his raps against these guys' raps, you can see the difference. And it's actually crazy. So shout out to them, man. Let God sort them out. I think my favorite song on the album is POVEMI. I just hit 6 mil behind Tyvek. I think that's my favorite joint on here. I gotta see what that song is called. Give me a second, real quick. Let me see. What is that? Why am I blanking on what that song is called? Excuse me. Oh, that's the one with Tyler the Creator. It's called POV. Yeah, there was some fire excuse me, features on here too. Let me see something real quick. FICO was fire too. I'm gonna have to right off the first, like off the top of my head, POV is my favorite joint on there, but I think FICO is also like 1B, so it's like 1A, 1B. And let's move on to my third favorite album of the year. Now this gets into more of like Let God Sort Them Out and God Does Like Ugly. Those are ones I listened to and I said, these are fire albums, but I didn't play a whole lot. I listened to them a few times and just said like, these are fire, right? And now these ones I'm gonna get into are albums that's actually I listened to a whole lot of times. Wham by Lil Baby. I just talked about how much I love Due for a Win. F You Two Times is also one of my favorite songs of this year. Of this year and on this album. Wham by Lil Baby, like I said, it started the year out while people were saying he fell off. And I'm sure the album is platinum. If not, it's gold for sure. But it's just a fire album. He didn't miss anywhere to me. I didn't hear anything that I felt like, oh, this is crazy. He had some good features. 21 Savage was on the album. Now, this is the thing about 21 Savage being on there. I guess I'm not as tapped in with these little rap beefs, not the fake street beefs. I'm saying I wasn't as tapped in with some of these fake street rap beefs as I thought I was. I didn't know that 21 Savage and Lil Baby had like an issue that was about to turn into a beef that somebody had to step in and mediate. Young Thug. I didn't know about that. I didn't know they was beefing. I didn't know there was no issues at all. I know that when I heard the jail call between Thug and 21, it did sound like there was an issue with Lil Baby that he was like keeping secret or something like that. But I didn't know the backstory on that. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that he was saying little weird remarks about Lil Baby, but I didn't know that they had an issue. But 21 is on the album, and I think Lil Baby is on 21's album too that he just dropped a couple weeks ago. So Travis Scott is on there, like I said. Thug is on there. Future is on there. The song Dumb It Dumber, whatever it's called. That's the first song that Thug jumped on when he first got out of jail. I think that was a little premature, but I think it did what it needed to do for them. Like it helped Lil Baby roll his album out. But I think it also made people say he might have fell off because that wasn't the best song. Like it wasn't the best song for Baby, and it wasn't the best song for Thug to be on his first track out of prison, out of jail, right? But Wham is great. F You Two Times, Due for a Win, Stuff. A lot of these joints, like I think they fire. Next up, I Ain't Feeling You by ESTG. Another one that I played a whole lot. I told y'all my favorite joint on there, Houston Lanaville. You know what I'm saying? My next favorite would be Go. The first joint? What's the first one called? Free Rico or Rest in Peace Rico? What's that joint? Hold on. ESTG is fire. My thing about ESTG, right, is you can hear him. Oh yeah. The thing about ESTG, right, is that it's called Free Rico, the first song, is that when I listen to him, even though I could tell like he's trying to dumb himself down with all that, with the lean and all that, but you can hear intelligence in somebody. You can hear when a person is trying to dumb themselves down to fit into whatever environment they're in. I can hear it. That's why I can hear a lot of times when some of these street dudes be guys that was smart, that didn't have to go get in the streets, but they just chose to go get in the streets when they didn't have to, right? They was actually intelligent. They could have went off and did some like academic type shit, been scholars and all that. But they just decided like, it's easy to manipulate niggas in the streets because they're not that smart. So I can go be the king of these guys and I can just act like them. They can't act like me. That's why a lot of these guys end up becoming famous or getting rich doing something because they were never like the guys they was hanging around. A lot of dudes that's in the streets is like, not a lot, but there's plenty of people in the streets that's like that they're not actually as dumb as they act. They're acting like that to fit in with the guys that they find themselves around, right? And I'm not just to say that ESTG, I'm not calling him fake or nothing like that, but I can hear that that's what he's doing, right? So you can hear that this man has some type of education, okay? Even though y'all might not be able to hear it, but I've been around enough guys that act this way to know what it sounds like, okay? He's one of them. The dude can rap. He got a nice vocabulary. He's great with wordplay, right? And he sounds like he's lived a lot of different things, a lot of different experiences, especially in his city. Now, you don't hear too many people that's going to come from Kentucky and really rep it like that. So for somebody to really stand that strong on Louisville and rep Kentucky like that, when it's not a state that's like known as the coolest state, it's not cool. It's really known like, oh, it's a bunch of big white boys out there, country, slow, cornfields, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not really known for anything cool. So for him to really put it on his back like that, I know Jack Harlow is out there, but nobody thinks Jack Harlow is cool. So for ESTG to put it on his back like that, I salute it. I salute it. That's one of my favorite albums of the year. And then, of course, my number one favorite album of the year is Mutt by Leon Thomas. Now, that's self-explanatory. I've been sitting here talking about Mutt and all the songs I like on the album. To me, when I think about, I almost can't even. I'm trying to think like R&B albums. It is an R&B album, but when I hear it, I don't get the same feeling that I get when I listen to other R&B albums. It's very odd. It's like I'm listening to, I don't know. It's like I'm listening to a bunch of jam session songs from somebody that can sing better than everybody else in the jam session or something. I don't know what vibe I'm getting from him, from this album. This is the way that I describe Leon Thomas. To me, Leon Thomas is like a perfect merging of Anderson .Paak and Chris Brown. Talent-wise. Not sound-wise, but kind of sound a little bit. But talent-wise, it's kind of like the writing. It's kind of like Anderson .Paak writes his songs like a rapper. And Chris Brown writes his songs, a lot of them, like a rapper too. When Chris Brown writes his own songs, it's a lot of rap-ish type verses in there. Now, they both also have, but Chris Brown also has his R&B side too. Heavy R&B, of course. And then Anderson .Paak also has his like rock, blues stuff. And pop, like rock, blues, pop type stuff that he can do. But Leon Thomas, the way he writes, I'm just talking about the structure of the writing. It feels a lot like a merger or a mashup of those two people, Chris Brown and Anderson .Paak. Leon Thomas also plays instruments like Anderson .Paak does. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody else can like get that vibe that I'm getting from Leon Thomas. But I think that's why he sounds so different to me from every other R&B album. Because I couldn't think of another R&B album. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of like that. Like, it doesn't sound like that. Because a lot of the guys, like, let's say like a Bryson Tiller, right? He put out an album, that Trap Soul joint. It was a classic. Then he might have put something else out. But people don't think he can sing. People say he really can't sing, right? He's just an R&B artist by kind of default. He don't even seem like he like doing it. And to me, he kind of sounds like he just wants to rap, but he know that people will judge him differently if he was to rap some of those lyrics. But Leon Thomas is a singer, like a singer-songwriter for real. But I can't compare him to no other album that I've heard and liked from R&B. And I think it's because of, I don't know, it's something about him, but he's like a mashup. Let me see. Vibes Don't Lie, Fire, Lucid Dream. So now, How Fast, Safe Place, like there's only 14 songs on the main album, right? Vibes Don't Lie, Lucid Dreams, Feelings on Silent, Answer Your Phone, Yes It Is, Far-Fetched, Mutt, I Do, I Used To. There's like 7 songs that I think are like undeniable joys. Like, you got to come back. You got to keep listening to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, and when I really think about the totality of the albums this year, the bar is kind of low. So I'm a little annoyed that Leon Thomas had to go up against a field that wasn't super competitive as far as top tier albums. Like, if I think about all the albums that came out this year, how many of them are people going to be talking about for years to come besides Leon Thomas? Not many, honestly. Depending on who, like some people who are super Cardi B fans might be talking about her album. Some Clips fans will be talking about this album for a long time because Malice came back. Like some people who are, some Giveon fans will be talking about his album for years because it is considered a good album, great album by some. But there's not like the whole lot of music came out this year, right? But not a lot that people are going to be talking about for a long time, except Mutt by Leon Thomas. To me, in my opinion, that's what I think. So I wish he could have came out, put this album out in a year that was like very strong so that he could stand out amongst strong competition, right? Because that's what I want people. I want people to be able to stand out when it's really tough. This wasn't a tough year for R&B at all. You see what I'm saying? And that's not to knock Leon's album at all. I love it. I've been playing it all year. And I don't only listen to music that came out this year. Some of my top stuff that I played this year was from years ago, right? But still, I wish I like to see you compete him getting like Best New Artist awards is very weird to me. Dude been out for a decade or more. He been out over a decade. When I was watching him on TV as an adult, he was an adult when I was watching him on TV on a show called Unforgivable or something like that. I forget what it's called. Something like there was like a USA show. He was on there. He was a musician then, playing his guitar and all that. He was already a musician at that point when he was on the show. That was over a decade ago, right? So how he's winning Best New Artist awards is odd, right? Dude been around for a while. So I don't know, but that's cool. It's whatever. I don't care. But that's my top music for the year, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what your top music is this year. I like the music I listen to, so I don't even try to come up with these are the best overall. Like you can't be objective when you're talking about music. It's all subjective. It's your opinion. If you're saying something about best music and you bring up sales and that has something to do with why it's the best, then I'm not listening to nothing else you're talking about. I don't care about the sales. What does it sound like? You see what I'm saying? I'm never picking something and ranking it because of the sales, unless I'm doing a sales list. Then I don't need to put my opinion in that. Right? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. I talked about that way longer than I thought I would. Shout out to Leon Thomas. You know something I was watching? I was watching a movie, getting ready with my kids, watching Christmas movies and stuff like that. My daughter, my 6-year-old, she loves Christmas movies. And she loves watching movies with me, especially movies from my childhood. That's what we do every Sunday. I will pick a movie and then I'll pick a movie from the 90s that I grew up watching and then we'll watch it, right? And she's only 6, but she likes stuff from the 90s. She likes old stuff. So we put on Jingle All the Way. Y'all remember Jingle All the Way? That's the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad and the whole Turbo Man, that movie. And something hit me while I was watching this movie. And I said, what was it about the 90s where Hollywood decided we are going to start putting our daddy issues in these movies? White Hollywood decided we're going to put our white daddy issues in our movies. Let's think about it. And I'm just going to name a few because there's a long list of them. But this was a common theme in the 90s. People's dad, these white kids, their dads either being extremely absent, non-existent, or too busy to deal with them. Right? This was a thing. When I say a theme, I mean, before that, they used to show regularity, showing the dads in the house, whether they were the best dad or not. The dads were attentive. They paid attention to them, had conversations, whatever. But something hit in the 90s. Like, let's just think about Rugrats, right? Beginning of Rugrats. Not the beginning of Rugrats, but like, let's, as an example, Rugrats with Angelica and her dad, right? Dude was always busy. No, I'm lying. Not Angelica. That was her mom. Her mom was always busy like that. Let's go to the movie Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way was talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger was not paying any attention to his kids' needs, right? He was always busy, always working. Son asked him for stuff. He was forgetting. So much so, and he was always traveling for work. He was always so busy that the neighbor was moving in on his wife and he didn't even realize what was going on. Dude is always at your house because you never there. But the twist to that whole thing is the neighbor was also a single dad, but he was all right. So they let it be known in the movie that the neighbor wasn't a good parent when he was with the mom, right? When he was with his first wife, because the son made reference to somebody said, "Hey, I wish my dad did all the stuff your dad did," and the little boy who was the neighbor's son said, "Yeah, my dad never did any of this stuff either when he was married. He didn't start doing this stuff until him and my mom got divorced," right? So that's just another, like, just a shot at these white dads that are not good with their kids or not attentive to their families. That's just that movie. Y'all have some of this stuff I'm saying, you're going to have to go back and watch it to see what I'm saying, right? Another one I referenced, and I talked about it before on the podcast, Toy Story. Toy Story, there was no dad. Andy didn't have a dad at all. There was no dad around at all. Sid next door, there was no dad. And if you do think that the dad was that man that was in there watching a Buzz Lightyear commercial, he was in there drunk on the recliner. He never came out and helped with Sid at all. Sid was running amok. His pops never got up off that couch to do anything with him, and he was running rampant around that neighborhood. Toy Story is another one. No dads at all. Home Alone. Dad was completely unconcerned with Kevin at all in any way, shape, or form, right? Dad was making a lot of money, but he was too busy to be concerned what Kevin had going on. In the first movie, they spilled milk all over the pizza and all over the tickets and stuff like that. Kevin's dad, while he's cleaning up the milk, throws Kevin's plane ticket right in the trash, right? Throws it in the trash. Not only that, when they forget him and get on the plane and stuff like that, Kevin's mom is sitting there. Now, she's bad also because she forgot her son. But she's sitting there like, I feel like we forgot something. Kevin's dad is like, nah, we didn't forget nothing. I'm 1,000% sure we got everything we needed. We got everything that matters. It's all with us. Kevin's mom's like, nah, I feel like we forgot something, right? So Kevin's dad is completely unconcerned with this boy, right? Not a mom, horrible mom too, because she left the boy. But the dad left him, and it wasn't even like eating at his conscious, like his subconscious, that some part of me is missing from me, right? Same thing happened in the second movie, so I don't even need to bring it up. Are y'all familiar with Liar Liar? Anybody familiar with Liar? The movie's called Liar Liar because the dad could not stop lying to his kids. He couldn't stop lying to his son about what he was going to do for him. Yo, I promise I'm going to come pick you up at this time. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And he was lying. He needed a wish to be granted for him to have some curse put on him where he couldn't tell a lie anymore. That's how bad he was lying in that movie to his kids. Jim Carrey played that role. White dad issues. Hollywood. Big movie, right? What other movie are we talking about here? Matilda. I mean, do y'all remember Matilda's dad, bro? Of course, both her parents was bad, but her dad was the ringleader of that foolishness, right? I don't even need to get into it. Y'all remember Matilda's dad, junkie car salesman, but he treated Matilda horribly. Like, he didn't give a damn about Matilda. When it was time for Matilda to go hey, take her, get out, whatever. She's a freak, right? Mrs. Doubtfire. My dog was such a bad dad, bad husband and all that. When it was time to lose the family, he said, you know what? I messed up so bad. Only way I can even get back in my kids' good graces is to go turn into a woman and become the nanny, Mrs. Doubtfire. Bro could have been a good dad at any point before that. He just chose not to. His kids didn't even really mess with him. Like, he chose not to be a good dad while he had a chance to be a dad and said, you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather show y'all I'm going to be a good dad while dressed as a woman as a nanny. That's another one. Like I said, there's an endless amount of movies from the 90s specifically where white people are calling out white dads in blockbuster Hollywood movies. I need y'all to help me. Add to this list. Sandlot. Now, while there wasn't a horrible dad shown in Sandlot, Smalls did not have his dad and didn't like his stepdad at first. He didn't really like him at first. Remember that? He didn't like him at first. So, and they never talked about his real dad. His dad might have came up, but he didn't like his stepdad. His stepdad must have been new in the picture, right? He didn't like that dude. Monkey Trouble, same thing. She didn't like that guy, stepdad. And the list just goes on and on. I need y'all to add to my list. There's more movies, and I'm not even giving you, because look, before I even put this little topic together, I didn't go watch these movies to like refresh myself. I'm just going off of memory. If I started watching these movies and writing down all of the movies that showed these white daddy issues, I mean, do y'all know how many movies I could come up with on this list? So I need y'all to help me out, because I used to love a lot of these movies, man. Like, I loved a lot of these movies, so I would watch them, nonstop, some of them. So yeah, y'all let me know. What do y'all think it was? What was it about the 90s where white Hollywood decided, yo, we about to start calling all these dads out? We're just going to show y'all. This is what we're dealing with in these households. Our dads are not being attentive. They're too busy to deal with us. We don't like them, hate them, can't wait till they leave. Like, they lie too much. They lie all the time. You see what I'm saying? Like, Liar Liar and Jingle All the Way, they were similar in that way because Arnold Schwarzenegger kept on lying to his son, saying he was going to do something, he was going to be somewhere. He just kept lying. He couldn't help himself or something. I don't know. Hard pivot. So, is everybody familiar with the Roomba vacuum? Is everybody familiar with that? The Roomba vacuum. That little vacuum, the robot joint that just run around the crib by itself and will get, clean up the stuff that it needs to clean up. Let's read here. They are the company, the parent company of Roomba, iRobot, is going bankrupt. Look at this. Business Insider. Let's read this, guys. iRobot founder says company's bankruptcy revealed a new kind of competitor, the Chinese fast follower. Let's read this thing. If there's one lesson iRobot founder Colin Angle took from the company's bankruptcy, it's never to underestimate competitors. On December 14th, iRobot, maker of the popular robotic vacuum Roomba, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection and will be acquired by its primary contract manufacturer, Chinese company Paisia Robotics. How sick is that? First of all, how sick is that? We're going bankrupt, right? We're filing for bankruptcy. But the company that is going to acquire us is the company that makes all of our robots for us. How sick is this? It's almost like they kind of helped, it's almost kind of like that Chinese company helped bankrupt them. Right? Kind of like, we're going to put out a bunch of Chinese versions of this Roomba and we're going to put y'all out of business and we're going to take your business and take it over. Engel said one of his biggest takeaways as iRobot enters its next phase is that even market leaders must remain alert to competition from China. Now you beefing with China, right? And you ain't make none of your stuff in America. Why you let them Chinese companies make that robot? Its certainty is certainly the advent of this new type of competitor, the Chinese fast follower, who had access to the Chinese marketplace, which iRobot effectively did not, he said on the tech podcast Hard Fork on Friday. iRobot was founded in 1990 by Engel, Helen Greiner, and Rodney Brooks, roboticists at MIT, who had a vision of making practical robots a reality. The company says on its website, it released the popular robot vacuum Roomba in 2002, which effectively created the category of consumer robotics. That's hard. I read a quote a long time ago that said something like, first to market does not mean market leader, or something along those lines, right? And that's the point being made here, because how y'all start this company in 1990, start doing these robotic vacuums in 2002, when there was pretty much nobody else in the space. Y'all was the only ones. And then somehow y'all let these Chinese companies put y'all out of business just 20 years later. That's very odd. For the next 2 decades, Engel said the company grew the category and for a brief period was the leading manufacturer of vacuuming robots in China. The company reached its peak revenue in 2021 at $1.56 billion. In the years that followed, however, Engel said the home robotics market was upended by new entrants from China, such as Roborock, which had been chipping away at iRobot's dominance since its arrival in 2018. Other Chinese competitors include Dream, Ecovacs, and Share. Or Share, maybe, I don't know. Engel said that companies like Roborock had an advantage against iRobot because they had a protected market to cut your teeth on for the competition. China made several moves to ensure that Chinese manufacturers in the category had an advantage by providing direct subsidies to iRobot's competitors, Engel said. Over the past few years, China made significant strides towards becoming a global hub for robotics innovation and adoption, rolling out multiple strategic plans across several sectors. As part of these efforts, the government has subsidized robot purchases at an average rate of about 17.5% of equipment costs, according to the Asian Robotics Review. In some cases, iRobot's features simply lag behind its competitors. See, what they're doing is, where iRobot's founder here is doing, this Engel fella, is really just complaining about the company that he about the country, China, that he did a lot of his business with. You went and gave them everything. You gave them all the business, had them manufacturing it, probably they had to have the blueprints and everything to your stuff, and now you want to complain about them. It was cool when you was benefiting off that cheap labor and all that. It was cool when you was price gouging Americans because you was getting this stuff made in China for dirt cheap. Now you mad because these people are catching up and their country is helping them take over the market where they make everything. Nah, I'm not taking that. You're whining for no reason. I'm not going for that. Honestly, we got wet mopping wrong, he said. Scuba, iRobot's mopping robot, never took off as an independent product. It certainly got hard and it got increasingly competitive, Engel said. Ultimately, we were open to other strategies to enable to continue us to innovate. Nobody wants a robot that's mopping and sweeping at the same time. Who wants that? One of those was striking a deal with Amazon, which attempted to acquire the company for $1.4 billion, but the deal was terminated following an antitrust review by the FTC and European regulators. The commission's probe focused on Amazon's ability to incentive to favor its own products and disfavor rivals, and associated effects on innovation, entry barriers, and consumer privacy. The FTC said in a statement in 2024, the commission's investigation revealed significant concerns about the transaction's potential competitive effects. Engel said that the deal should have been a no-brainer in a recent interview with TechCrunch. What happened was that iRobot and Amazon came together for the express purpose of creating more innovation, more consumer choice, and at the time when iRobot's trajectory was honestly different from where it was several years earlier. He said the FTC and the European Commission's investigation should not have gone longer than 3 or 4 weeks. What happened instead was a year and a half of pendency, which had a very challenging impact on the ability to operate a company and ultimately having the acquisition blocked, he said. He said iRobot should serve as a cautionary tale for the future of U.S. manufacturing. It's funny you say that because y'all wasn't manufacturing in the U.S. Y'all had China manufacturing y'all stuff. Y'all were headquartered in the U.S. Stop trying to use the nation against the nation argument when you wasn't rocking with America when it was time to build them little punk-ass robots, okay? The net result, which I have argued, was done with eyes wide open, was putting the consumer robot industry in a box, gift wrapping it, and handing it to someone else, he told Hard Fork. Okay, yeah, you handed it to somebody else when you started building them there 20 years ago, okay? Let's just keep it a buck. But I just wanted to read that because I thought it was interesting. And Roomba, as we know it, is no more. Hopefully when these Chinese companies get it, they can knock the prices down and maybe more people will buy it. Who knows? But I know a lot of people do have these things, but I don't know if the people I know with these robots have the Roomba or if they have one of these competitors' products that popped up. I'm not sure. But shout out to that. Man, actually, I was going to talk about some therapy stuff, but I'm literally looking at it like, man, we got an hour in here, a couple topics knocked out. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Final podcast of 2025. Man, my nose is itching crazy. I'm not messing with my nose like doing coke or nothing like that. It's just itching. It's just itching, man. I just started a new La Roche-Posay facial care routine. I can't even lie, my face is definitely softer than it was previously. Before I get up out of here, please make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment your thoughts below. You know what's funny to me? What the hell do y'all be doing when y'all are at home just like screaming in the camera? Like y'all are at home, your whole family is in the background just like awkwardly sitting there quiet, and you never notice somebody's like in the background until they just say some extremely normal stuff to you and it makes you snap out of screaming and respond to them. You niggas really be psychos, man. I need y'all to get some help, man. Get some help. Seek help. There's no reason to be screaming into no camera. I mean, I'm trying to think of a scenario where I could be doing something like that. I just can't. It's probably why I don't have enough subscribers, because maybe people who like watch podcasts and watch content and stuff, maybe they want to see niggas screaming cameras like this. I don't have it in me to do that. It felt awkward even just trying to reenact the shit. It's weird. But it is funny sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I have seen, like, I know when y'all getting y'all scream on is going crazy and somebody asks you, yo, you want a straw in your cup? Yeah, let me get a straw. Fuck you. Like, you go right back to you're getting crazy with it. That's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all have a good New Year's. Hopefully y'all had a whole good, happy holiday season. For anybody that didn't make it, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, bless up, all that good stuff. And man, we're gonna do great things in the year coming up, man. We're trying to get on some podcasts. I done reached out to a few people. We're gonna see if they get back with me. Excuse me. As soon as I get me a commercial space where I don't have to have people coming to my house, I'm gonna have some people on, man, immediately. As soon as I get a place, I'm gonna have some people pulling up on me. You know what I mean? But that's all I got for y'all, man. Y'all be easy. We out of here. Happy New Year.